Hello, my name is Andrew Leftley and welcome to the next Junior MBA Stay Active program. Today I'm going to be focusing on well-being, and there are three items that we're going to focus on and discuss. First one is about finding motivation. Second one is going to be about showing resilience, and the last one is about motivating others. We're going to bring all those three things together. So I want you to consider now, what is it that motivates you? What is it that you've learned during this lockdown situation? What skills have you taken forward from that year or the year that we've had into the future? So the first thing we're going to consider is that finding motivation. So what I'd like you to do is sit there and consider, what are the 5 skills that have helped you cope during lockdown? Here's some examples. Self-motivation. Have you taken responsibility? Have you become a more independent person? Have you had to be patient but show creativity? Is there a point where you've had to show leadership? Have you used some of those captaincy skills that you've been assigned to in your sporting time and taken that forward into your own personal leadership? I would imagine there is resilience and determination and certain commitments that you've developed, and certainly that you've maybe thought about. But how do we develop that motivation? And what is it that motivates you? Well, there are 3 aspects that I want to take you through. But there's the question that I need you to ask yourself, and that is, what is motivation? What motivates you to try hard? So let's go through a process. The first one is about the attitude. So your mindset towards motivation. We have to appreciate that the challenge that we face are going to develop you as an individual, but they provide opportunities for improvement. The second one is that when we go through this process, we develop skills that become so transferable in all aspects of our life. So we then have to reflect on those life skills, and then we set targets for improvement. And the idea that we improve because of 2 things. One, potentially some of the failure that we've had, but the second one is the targets that we set for improvement, this self-reflection process. Once we've got that stage, once we've developed the attitude and once we've developed the skills, we then have a set amount of knowledge that we can take, and we start to look at some of the key terminologies that describe motivation, and then we can apply them to life skills. So I've divided these skills up into 3 areas. Thinking skills, which is you in your mind. The personal skills, which is these inner skills. And the last one is the interpersonal skills. So the skills that you have when you are in a social group, or you're interacting with friends or teammates. What I'd like you to do is select a few that mean something to you, that you can relate to, or that you've shown, or lastly, that you want to become. What are those key skills that you're going to take from watching this and put into your everyday life, your school, your education, your sporting world? I want you to watch this video in your own time. It's a video with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and they talk about achieving greatness. What are those key messages to you when you watch it? What do you draw out of it? For me, when I saw this, these are the things that I was able to grasp. Their work ethic. 2 athletes that eliminated fear of failure because of their work ethic. The second one is their love for something. They loved basketball so much, and their desires to be successful, it took them to a whole new level of just extreme achievement. They had to make sacrifices. I was really surprised when they spoke about making sacrifices as a journey towards them being successful. It was one of the things that both athletes spoke about. This mindset that good things happen when you put your mind to it. And the last one is to be the best at something, or the best that you can possibly be. You have to love it. You have to immerse yourself in it and fully appreciate what it is and what it takes to achieve greatness. There's some of the things that I was able to pull out when I watched that video. Let's look at the second aspect, which is this resilience. What does resilience mean to you? So when you sit here and you're watching this, what does it mean to you? And when have you shown resilience? Or when have you seen it at its best? Have you seen it from family? Have you seen it from friends? Have you seen it from role models? When showing resilience, let's think about this ask process again. The first one is this attitude. Let's try to maintain a positive attitude, even when things are not going well and there's massive amounts of challenge. Be positive, have a positive outlook. The second one is when we're positive, we then can develop strategies and ideas to avoid and reduce stress, because when we become stressed, this idea of motivation just completely gets pushed to one side. So then where do we claw resilience from? What does stress do to our bodies and our minds? Once we then have an idea of how to reduce stress or not get to a stressful situation, we then understand the importance of resilience. I want you to think about this big question. Why is emotional resilience essential in life? Controlling the controllables, having a control of your emotions in success and in failure. What does that look like? Here's some top tips for reducing stress, which helps with motivation and will help with the development of you building resilience. I'm not going to go through each one, but there might be some that are closely associated to you. Is it being active? Does that reduce stress? Does helping others, being kind, seeing others succeed? Does taking control of a situation equally have its effect on reducing stress? Have a think about those coping strategies. And the last thing I want you to focus on is this: motivating others. So you've got this idea that you've got this self-motivation, this inner drive and this desire to be something. What is it you want to be? Have you thought about that? What do you want to become? If you have an idea, how are you going to get there? Who's going to help you along the way? What is it that needs to happen? What does it take to be that person that you want to be? Motivating others is another piece of that jigsaw puzzle. When have you seen somebody excel at motivating others? Has it been a family member? Has it been a role model? When have you personally motivated others? When have you acted in kindness? And how did that make you feel? Motivating others sometimes isn't about saying something, it's about doing something. It's about doing something when somebody's watching you. So you're role modeling these motivational behaviors. We go through the ask process again, and we ask ourselves this big question: how can motivating others hold the key to your success? Well, the first thing is to approach conversations open-minded and don't have views on others. We then develop strategies to motivate others. We then understand the value of this motivational climate within social circumstances, within our friends, within a sporting context, at training or in matches. What does motivating look like to us? But what success does it hold for you as individuals? Here's some top tips for motivating others. Be transparent and open and honest with them and yourself. Give time to be generous to yourself and others. Value other people's individual strengths. Potentially show your vulnerabilities. What you do and your actions can influence others. Look at what their reactions are when you speak confidently and politely and positively to others. Have a look in the corner of your eye when you're doing something that you feel is successful. How does it make others feel? So you've been watching a presentation on well-being, and we've looked at three areas: your motivation, resilience, and motivating others. Think back to your time in lockdown. Think back to the opportunities that were presented to you or that weren't presented to you. What fond memories do you have of that? What person have you become as a result of it? But think this, what is it that you want to be? How are you going to get there? What journey are you going to follow? What sacrifices are you going to make? I hope you found this really useful. Good luck, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.